Okay, so I'm recording now. Okay, great. So please, if you have any question, you need to ask, because from next week, we are going to finalize all the basics. Then the following month, we are going to be building a project from start to finish. So we're going to, from the project brief, we are going to outline how we're going to build and how to export our assets from Figma down to Webflow, how we're going to set up our style. Like I told you, once it comes to web design, one of the main things that's going to actually give you success is your ability to, plan well. If you don't plan your design well, structure your design well, it's just going to scatter. Because if you notice, for everything we want to design, for everything we want to color here, we usually create a class. Now, the issue is you can't continue creating class for virtually everything you are doing. Because if you look at your design, some of them are likely going to be the same style. Some of them are going to be the same color. So there is no need creating multiple styles or classes when you can actually create just one class and then reuse it on all the pages. Okay, but remember, it's before you can even start doing that, it all depends on your planning. So before you start your project, you want to make sure, and you can see we've not actually taken a look at how to import fonts. So we've only been using the default fonts. So by the time we get to the full project, we take a look at even how to import fonts for maybe custom fonts or even Google fonts. Okay, so it's going to be very quite interesting, and I hope you all are able to meet up, because the main thing is, if you've not watched the preceding videos or the old videos, you might not really understand where we're heading to next. Okay. Okay. So first of all, the three of us here, aside Coca, Annie and Ayodele, have you guys gotten to this point? Let's start with Ayodele. Ayodele, have you gotten to this point?
Hello. I can't see your screen. So which point are you saying? I can't see your screen.
Okay, it's probably network. So I'm talking about the point where we designed, I think the design we did the day before yesterday.
The design, I am on a logo strip. That's what I'm trying to get over.
Okay, okay. After logo strip, you come to this other design. Okay, okay, that's fine. Annie, what about you? Annie, are you there?
Yes, I've not gotten to this point.
Which point you don't got to?
I've not been following the classes lately.
Why?
So I've been behind.
Why?
I have some family issues though.
Yes. Anyway, try and sort your family issues so that you can focus and learn. Yes, so the Webflow, they also help solve family issues once you get used to it. Anyway, so let's try as much as possible. But the main thing is, I hope you guys are understanding like this, setting up these structures and the reason why we set them up like this. Okay, because this is very, very, very important. Any design you see. Now, if you come to this awards.com, it's a website where people normally submit their work for review. So if you come in here, you can see different types of nice designs. Now, no matter the design you see here, you can actually recreate them all right on Webflow. So that's the advantage of Webflow when you want to compare it to things like Figma, to things like WordPress and Framer and the rest of them. So it is a little bit more robust, that you can use to create anything you can create, because it's a little bit closer to coding than the rest of them. So please, let's ensure that we are understanding every little thing we are doing. So without wasting much time, we'll go in and explain what we have in for today. But also, if you have questions, make sure you ask so that I can answer those questions. Questions are very important, right? So today we are going to be taking a look at tabs. Now, tabs are basically navigational elements that allows us to add more content into our design. So let's take a look at this. We've probably seen it. if you've gone to a website and you see a situation where you have to click and you see content, okay? Let's say you click, you see the content here, you click here, you see the content here, you click here, you also see the content here. This is a tab, okay? And they can come in different design. You can see this one is full screen. If you click here, you see the content. If you click here, you see the content. So the advantage of this is that you can actually go on different pages without necessarily reloading your browser. So that's one of the advantages of tabs. So if you have a group of related items and they have heading and also they have content, what you can do, if you don't want to put them on different pages, right, you can just use tab for it. So tab is a very good way to present things like this. Also, you can use it to present things like product features. Let's assume your product features are quite long and you don't want to put them, or maybe you know, this product feature we did here, this product feature we did here, you can see we have just 1, 2, 3. Now imagine this was up to 6. If they were up to 6, you probably don't want to do this. Instead, what you can do is to group them into tabs. Now, a very good example of what I'm saying is, but we all have seen elements like this on different websites, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes. So it can be like this, or it can even do the modern one. So this example of the modern tab, you can see the way this one is. When you click, it changes. 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 So designing something like this, you want to work with what? Tabs. So the tab, like I said, it gives you access to what? You have the what? The heading. So you have the heading, and then you have the contents area. The heading and the content area. And anytime you click on another heading, it switches the content. So you can see that this design is even far much more better than this design. But you still see people using this type of design on their website. It is not bad. So it depends on the design you were given. So this is the more traditional one. So if you were handed over the traditional one, that is fine. You can work with the traditional one. Or if you are being handed over like a modern tab design, you can also work on something like this. It all depends on the styling. Basically, they are the same. So we are going to take a look at how to create a tab right in Webflow. Okay. But before that, any questions so far? Okay. So let me proceed. So just like with every other thing, I'm going to have the same. Let's have similar structure here. So let's go in. Let's add in our section. Okay. Now for this section, let's take a look at the structure again. Let's drag this out. Let's drag it out. Okay. So for this section, I just want to open it up so I can see exactly what we're doing. Sometimes this. Okay, good. So for this section, the first thing we want to have is mrow. So I'm going to call this get this class. You can see the way I'm reusing this class. I'm just trying to give us a taste of what we are how we are likely going to be building. Okay. So you can see the way I keep reusing this class, so it will give us exactly what we want. So we have mrow there, and the next thing we need is a div. So let's add 3 divs. So let's add 1. Okay. And let's add another one, 2, and then let's add another one, 3. Now, if you're working on your own project, you can say, okay, I want to use only 1 div. Nobody will shoot you. But I think I told us the reason why you want to use that particular this particular structure, right? Like this one is for the full width. You are controlling the full section now, okay? While this one, we are using it to add some padding, okay? Some padding, so M padding, so that things will not be at the edge. M padding, okay? So we have that padding there. You can see we have this space now. We've added this space. So even if you open this website on a large screen, our content itself won't go outside of, won't be touching the edge of the screen. The next thing we have is M container. Okay, the next thing we have is M container. Okay, and after M container, so this M container, we said this M container will be like the main container that will hold the contents. But the contents themselves can also be inside a wrapper. So we said M content container, content container. Okay, M content container. Now we are good to go. We are good to go. Now let's select this one. Let's take a look at the next. I know we did a combo class. So M section. This one is also going to have the M section combo class so that it will remove that color. M section combo class. Good. So we don't have that color again. But usually, like I said, if this was a full end-to-end project, you want to go ahead and create different spacing components for them. Okay, so you don't have background on one and background on another, and it becomes an issue. You want to make sure you build your style guide to be robust enough. Okay, so let's proceed. The next thing now, we want to start adding our content. Now, to add our content, all we need to do is to select this M content container because that's where we need our content to be. Okay, we want to go ahead and click on this plus sign, scroll down. So I'm also going to use this opportunity to explain this advanced section for us. So in case you want to add a component that can allow you to search the entire website, that is what you use this search for. Okay, if you want to add like a video background, if you don't want to use like a picture background or just color for a background, if you want a picture background, that's what you use this background video for. You already know what drop down is, and last time I explained what code embed is. Now we have Lightbox as well. From the view, you can actually see how it works. Then we have local lists. We'll also have navbar. We have slider, this social media, blah blah blah. Now here you have tabs. So all you need to do is to drag your tabs into your container. Okay. Now, like we said, tabs usually have what? The heading and the content. You can see right now we have, it says select active tab. It's on tab 1. That means once people come to this website, the content of tab 1 is the first thing they are going to see. Okay, so if you change the active content here, if you say tab 2, you can see it will automatically come to tab 2. That means when people visit this website, the first thing they are going to see is the tab 2. Okay, but usually you want to set it to the first one. Okay, and that is it. So right now you can see we have 3 tabs. So if I click on add tab, it becomes 4. So depending, so right here we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can come in here and do this 4, 5, and 6. Now you can clearly see that we've created up to 6 of this. You can click on show all settings to view all the settings, but I'm just going to close this. Now let me open up this browser, the navigator. You can see tabs here. Now what is the content of this tab? Let's take a look at it. The content here, so that in case we want to build something like that on our own, the content here, the first thing here is the tabs menu. And then after the tabs menu, you have the tabs content. That's the tabs menu and the tabs content. Just like if we come here now, these are the tabs menu. Okay, the tabs menu, and these here are the tabs content. So take note of that, the tabs menu and the tabs content. So with that in mind, what you can now do is, if you want to edit this menu, let's say I want to edit this menu, let's come back here, let's do HRMS. Okay, let's say HRMS. Let me come in here, let me close this. I can double click here and type in HRMS. We have payroll, performance management, payroll. Payroll, we have payroll there. Then we have performance management. We have performance management. We have time and attendance, then learning management. We have time and attendance. Okay, time management. What is the last one there? Learning management. No, time and attendance. Time and attendance. And then we have learning management. Okay, learning management. So here we have our 5 tabs. And if you come back here, you are able to see what the way the tabs were built. You can see that they are literally links. Okay, it's a link block with a text inside. So a link block with a text inside. That is to say, if we wanted a little image here like this icon, you can see they all have icon. So if I wanted a little some icon there, I can still go in. Okay, come in here, check if I have any icon. Let's see. Okay, I think this is the only icon I can add here. Okay, this is the only icon I can add just for this illustration. Okay, so let me go back here and let's select the link block. So this link block, what we can do is to change it, or usually we want to instead add a div first. So if I wanted to bring this icon, let me say this icon should be 24 here. So if I wanted to have this icon, okay, did someone raise their hand? If I wanted to add this icon here, what I can do is to select this link block. First of all, I can add a div block inside it. Now, this div block, I will go ahead and change it to what? Flex. Okay, now select this, drop it inside the div block, and also select this icon, drop it inside the link, the div block. So now you can see I have actually, let me select that div. Where is it? Link block. Okay, link block. Okay, this is the div block. Now with this div block, I can just go ahead and let's just say center it. Let's center it this way. Then I can add in my 8 or 16 px. Okay, and yeah, so this is how you can actually add icons to your tabs. So remember, you want to wrap things around the div, but this is not what we want to do. We want to go for a more simplified approach. But on your own, if you want to do something advanced, you are free to do it. Okay, so let me go ahead and delete all these things. So we just have the HRM, payroll, performance management, attendance, and learning management. So let me open up here again. Like I said, what we have here is a tab, and it consists of a tab menu. So once you have this tab menu, the next thing now is to add all the contents. So if you select this content right here, you can now drop anything you want inside it. Okay, so if I come into my components, so you guys have not done components, and I drop in my M feature, now we have this right inside that tab. Okay, so if I go ahead and preview this, you can see what I have. It's just to style it to anything I want. Once I style it, it is done. So if I want, I can come in here and put this inside a container first. Okay, I can put it inside a container. Let's go back. So I can put this inside a container, inside a div first. Okay, but if I don't want to put it in a div, that's fine. This, you can always style this tab pane. Okay, so if you come and set it and say, okay, let's give it a padding of let's do 60 for now. But remember, we normally use rem, but I'm just using 60 for now. So we can also do the top. For the top, we can do 40. Okay, we can do 40. And the bottom as well, we can do 40. Okay, so let me preview it again. And you can see how we've added some spacing between, okay? And you can go ahead and still color it if you want. But now watch, if I go to payroll, there's nothing there because we haven't added anything inside them. So usually these tab contents, they usually have a structure, okay? They usually have a structure. Let me remove that styling so that I can explain better. So let me just do 0 here. So let's just do 0 here. Let's just have the one at the top. Let's also do 0 here. Now remember, it depends on the design you are giving, okay? So this styling, they always have a structure. So chances are, when you go into payroll 2 as well, if you come in here, to access the second one, you can see this tab content is for tab 1. You can come to tab 2. Let's copy this. Let's copy that and paste on tab 2. Okay. Let's go and paste it on tab 2. Remember the content itself. Okay. So on tab 2, we have it, and it should also have 40 right here. And then 40 at the bottom, since that is what we did for the other one. Now let's go ahead and preview this. So we have tab 1 and we have tab 2. So the same is basically the same thing we have going on here. Tab 1, tab 2, this is tab 3, tab 4, tab 5, tab 6. So it's all about the design. As you can clearly see, this one, the design is a little bit detached. So you can achieve the same thing if you want, okay? It's all about managing your spacing. You can achieve the same thing if you want. Like if we come here now, we can say, okay, for this link block, okay, for this link block, instead of 30, 30, let's go ahead and use 40, okay, 40. Now let's call it M tab link. Okay, M tab link. Let's use 40, 40. For the margin, so that we can have a little space. For the margin, you can go ahead and just do like 40 as well. Okay, 40 seems to be much. Let's go with 20. Okay. Now, for the corner radius, we can go in. Okay, let's do something at the top as well. So for the top here, let's do 20. And then for the padding bottom, let's also do 20. You can see I'm styling them now. Now I can now go inside. The corner radius. The corner radius, I can just put it at, it doesn't matter. Put it at the highest, which is 100. Okay. So you can see how I've actually styled this. Don't forget, if you want to style the hover effect, right? If you want to style this hover effect, it's also easy. It's just to come here and select the hover state. Hope you remember. So, but let's go ahead with this one. So since this is what we want now, I can just select these other ones and apply that M tab link. So select this M tab link. So like I said, I don't want you guys to see designs somewhere and start getting confused on how to get it. That's the whole essence of this first month. I want to give you a solid foundation so that all you need is just your imagination. All you need is your imagination. Okay, M tab link. Okay, now what you can even do, if we want, let's open up this panel. If we want, we can open up this panel, and for this tab menu, okay, technically, it would have been better to just have a div. But what we can also do, let's see if this, I don't know. I'm just going to use this and then space them out, okay? Space them out like this. So you can also try something like this if that is what you want. You can space them out, then select individual ones and say grow if possible. Individual ones here. You can see everything I've grown. Just that we are having this little bit of break in here. So we don't want this. So because we don't want that, let's go and reduce the padding. Maybe this padding now, let's make it 20 so that we're good. So let's also make it 20. Okay, now we can go to our text, although you don't want to do this on this particular class, but let's just do it. We can go to the text and say center text. So you can see what we have. Now, if I preview this, you can see I have something similar to what you have here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We basically have this here, but you can see our own. From here, you enter the new tab. Enter the new tab. We've not added content here. That's why it changed. This is our tab. Then this is another tab. Okay. We've not added content. That's why it moved up. Okay, because it's still empty. But let's go ahead and populate the 6 of them. So let's come back here. I'm just going to copy another one. Let's copy the second one. So I'm going to copy the second one. I'm going to come to tab 3 contents. Let's go to tab 3. Okay, remember tab menu. The tab menu is different from the tab itself. So tab 3, for the tab 3 content, let's paste that. Let's also paste it on. Okay, so this tab 1 is having this tab pan tab 1. Okay, let's call this M tab content. So let's apply it to tab 2 as well. So M tab content. Okay, let's apply it to tab 3 as well. M tab contents. Good. So we are applying it to tab 4 as well as tab 5. M tab contents. And then tab 6 as well. M tab contents. So let's paste this on tab 6. Let's paste that on tab 6. Then maybe tab 7, the tab 4. The tab 4 will just have this. So tab 4. Remember, I'm just duplicating content so that we don't spend so much time redesigning what we already know. Now, let's preview our design and let's watch our tab in action. So we have tab, 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 tab. Like I just told you, instances where you are likely going to use it. Let's say, like I said, the feature. If you notice this feature here, they are quite much. Imagine they wanted to use this on one here, another one here, another one here, another one here. It's just going to waste so much time. Okay. And if you want, you can actually use tab to build your entire website. Okay. Now let's assume they called you to build like something like an app. Okay, if you're asked to build like something like an app, maybe you have a dashboard and the rest, you can use tab to achieve them. Okay, so with your tab, people can switch to different views where you have different content. It's as easy as that. So this is the power of tabs. And this is how you can actually create your own tab. So I want us to ask ask questions. So please ask questions before I proceed to the second element. Meanwhile, I can see that some of us have not gotten to this part. So if you notice this design, it has this green color. All these designs, they have green colors compared to this other one that are blue. So this is called a component. So as you keep watching the video, you are going to come across components. Assuming you guys have watched it, you would have actually had a lot of questions to ask. But since you've not watched it, no problem. When you get to that stage, make sure you drop a question. So this is called a component, and it's not really easy. It's not really hard to understand what it does. Okay. So I think following our website theme, I'm going to also change these classes to button. Button. Which class did we use? Let me check the class we used for this design. MCTA glass, okay. MCTA glass. So I'm also going to add the MCTA glass here. Our text don't go. I don't want to overwrite. I don't want to override this. So instead, let me just go ahead and redesign this. Let me redesign this text link. Okay. So how am I going to redesign it? Let me go to the background. For the background, instead of white, let's go in like blue. Okay, let's go in like blue there. And let's choose this light opacity. Okay, for the font color, let's go in with white. Why is this one not? Okay. Okay, it is okay. We've not started the dot current. Okay, so we'll still start the dot current. So let's have this. While our dot current, that's the current place where it is, we are going to have the same color. We're going to have the same color. Let me copy this color. Let me copy this color. Copy. Opacity is at 66. Opacity is at 66. Dot current, the same color.
She said she don't like the details. Not true.
Bring the bread for me.
Okay. So let me just come back here. So I want us to edit this. So we're going to use this for our current. We'll use this for our current instead. Or we can use the same color. We can use the same color, but give it an outline. That's a border. Let's give it a border white. Okay, depending on what you want, we can reduce this. Okay, we can reduce the opacity of the line, and we can also increase the width here to like, let's say 2. Okay, so this can actually be our current. So let's go back to none, and then let's come back here and preview what we have. So current, you can see that we've created this and we've made it match this particular one. I think this section, what section did we use? We introduced a new class for sections. Okay, msec padding. So for this one, we are going to be using the msec. Let me remove this. msec padding. Okay, this is the one we said we're going to be using. So if we preview this now, you can see we have a simple design here. We started all these things with them from scratch. So you can use this type of tabs. You can see you can easily make your tab. Your tab can contain anything. It must not be like this. It could contain image. It could contain anything at all. It would contain a whole design entirely. Like I said, if you are trying to make like a dashboard, you take your full height. With your tabs, you can actually arrange all your content inside different tabs. Okay, so at this point, please let's go ahead and ask questions before I take us to the last segment of what we have for today, tonight. Any questions so far? Okay, so no question. So the last thing you want to probably do with your tabs, there are a lot of things you could do. You could add animation and things like that. But if I come to tabs now, okay, if I come to tabs, and if you go to settings, you can see so many things. If you don't want this tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, you can rename them. But take note, anything you rename here, let me add a here and click on save. You can see that it just applies here. It does not change this text. So this text is different from what you have here, okay? This is just for you to know, okay, this is tab 1, this is tab 2. If you don't want to call it, you can just now rename it, give it the same name like you have there, HRMS, just so that you can track it. But take note, the name does not technically affect this text here. So this text is not linked to this. Instead, this is referring to the entire section. So if you want to leave it as tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, that is fine. But if you want to change the name to match the menu you have there, that is also fine. The next thing you want to choose is the animation. You have this ease. You have different types of ease. You have ease in, back, ease in, sec. Let's use this one. This one is a little bit more, okay, I like this ease out quaint. This one is also very nice, but it's a little bit, the ease is okay. I'm just trying to show you different animation. So you can see this different animation. Watch how all these things react. So you can see the way it's like it's blinking, okay? It's like it's blinking. So you can choose the animation you want right there for the transitioning, okay? Or you can see ease in sec, ease in expo, all of them. Just try them out and see the one that works for you. But you probably will use that ease. It always works well. But if you want a little bit more, you know, drama, you can go ahead and change here. And also the speed and the duration, everything can be customized here. So you can see gradually we are going from we have been going from beginner to, you know, intermediate design levels. You see, we also didn't decide to leave, you can see we styled it a little bit, so we don't just have this basic type of what tabs. But in case the design you are working on, what they have is a basic tab, that's fine. Just go ahead, no too much styling, right? No too much styling. And don't forget, this tab itself is a container. It's a container, okay? If you come here, you can see tabs. It's a container. So if you want, you can still come here and style them if you want, but we're not going to want that right now. So if I do 20 here, or let's do 40 so you can visibly see it. If I do 40, 40, 40, 40, if I do 40, 40 here, I can style this anyhow I want. I can go and put them in a background, okay? I can go get a background, okay? Get a background or blue there. You can see that we can actually get a background. I'm trying to see a color that will work well. So let's preview. You can see that we can actually have our tab in the background. But like I said, you likely not do this, okay? But I'm just showing you that you can style every part of this tab. Let me go ahead and do a couple of Ctrl Z. So based on the design you are giving, whenever you see things like this, so if you see things like this in the design, again, I'm saying it, reason why I'm emphasizing on this is I don't want you to encounter a project where you have, is this pattern still here? Let me check, sorry. Okay, let's remove them. So anytime you hold down Alt and drag this number, you're able to change the values. You're able to change the values at the same time instead of always. But I've not introduced you guys to shortcuts so that you will not, you will know the main stuff, okay, before shortcut. Shortcut is for advanced. Now, the reason why I'm taking my time to explain this, okay, I don't want a situation whereby when you see a design like this, you will now go and do button, 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 and then create a div for this. When you do that, it's not going to be a tab. It's not going to link, because the whole thing is that they want people to be able to click here and see the next content. Click here and see the next content. Click here and view content. Click here and view content. Now, even if you decide to do button, 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 and then you do this first content, how are you going to do the remaining content? In as much as we duplicated, in the main design, they are not going to be duplicated. Okay, so how are you going to achieve that? So that's why we have taken time to actually explain this in more details. Okay, so let's go ahead and ask questions. If there are no questions, I'll go ahead and end the session for the day. But make sure you practice this. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. Make sure you practice. Make sure you practice, because that's the most important thing. Make sure you practice. And by tomorrow, okay, I think we've done our first test. So please make sure you get to the test and make sure you submit it on in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So before we go, any question? If there's anything you still,
Hello?
yeah, I'm with you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, you were mentioning first test.
Yes, there was a text, an assessment that was given. But by tomorrow, there will be another
I'm
one.
not sure I saw that.
Yeah, I think that is yesterday. It's yesterday. So yesterday
It was
a task.
dropped yesterday.
Yes. So if you get to yesterday's project, it's a task. So it's not a video tutorial.
Okay,
I was
okay. Yes, okay. You are saying on the LMS, Abi?
Yes.
Okay, because you see, I actually have a challenge which I complained on the group.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes me a lot of time before that thing will open, that LMS.
Yes, we are looking into it. I think it's from the server.
And so at some point I was thinking that it was my network, but I will go to other website and open. Of course, there are network challenges here and there, but actually sometimes I will even have time, have electricity. I will still on it to just be rolling, or it will be going to the previous ones that I've opened.
Yeah.
So it's actually causing some delays.
Okay, no problem.
Then number two, okay. Number two is because even that one I tried to open it that Thursday.
Yeah.
Sure, understand. If you just get there to give me a blue screen and give me some information I don't understand. Sure, understand. That was what it was giving me. But if you click it, you will see assessment and some other things. But once I click it, if it opens, it just go blank. There is nothing to do there. There are some information there.
You have to download that image and redesign it on Webflow.
Okay, I will go there and check it very well tomorrow. The other thing is this, sorry, it's not really a question, it's just I don't know if it's happening across all the groups, but I realize that on our Webflow platform, both they shared us into team. The team that they shared us to, I said, I don't know whether this one is happening across all the courses or just on Webflow. I realize that there seems to be a lot of inactivity, because I remember at the beginning of this program, team leaders were actually appointed. As in, we were divided into a group. We were divided into groups, and the groups have something I will call a captain, and then we now have like a course coordinator. But of course, I know that there is no much information to pass, but the group is just quiet. Nobody's asking anybody if anybody is learning. The people that campaigned and that they were given positions, I don't know. I don't know whether I have not gotten to the stage where people should be motivated, people should be stimulated. In fact, it's not even making us sometimes to see who to even talk to, because you drop message for somebody, the message is not being replied to for quite a long period of time. So, well, if it's happening only in Webflow, could it be that we still don't understand the benefit? Of course, I know everybody, even me, it was through this program I'm hearing Webflow for the first time. And I felt, well, let me give it a try, especially when I tried to read about it, and I felt that, okay, it has its own advantages over WordPress. Of course, some WordPress too have maybe one or two advantages. Because the major thing I saw is that, okay, for Webflow, you can design more beautiful, more functional websites. But with WordPress, you can design a website that
Webflow just gives you that liberty to create anything you want, unlike websites that is WordPress that is a little bit more structured. And again, yes, I understand.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, I think I'll relate that to the project coordinator.
Okay, so what I'm saying is
Yes.
There are no like in my own group. Even the person that was appointed our group leader, as in my own team, that is the team leader, he didn't even show up. So when I contacted our course coordinator, the Webflow coordinator, sorry, I don't know, I've forgotten the language they used. It was she, and then the course coordinator, they now said, okay, I should create a group. So when I created the group, only 3 of us joined the group out of 10.
Okay.
And then nobody is even sending anybody a message. Are you guys coping? Do you have challenges? I think that's the essence of the program, choosing different leadership structures to at least push on this.
Yes. Okay. That's fine.
Because I think it will encourage. Yeah, if I don't know something, or even if I'm getting it hard and somebody is by the side, even if it doesn't necessarily to be the team leader.
Yeah.
Still encouraging somebody to. But learning online is not as easy as physical class, but online too has its own advantage over physical class.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's my own. I will go to the assessment and check it again.
Okay, no problem. That's fine.
It was just rolling and rolling. Sometimes what I do is I wake up middle of the night to see whether I can get it downloaded.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
So that's what I do sometimes.
Okay. Thank you guys. Okay, thank you guys for joining. So once we are done with this, I will also send in the recording so that people can watch. Okay. So good night, everyone.
Good night, sir.
Okay.
Have a